to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Music Mindset channel. First of all, I want to say right off the bat, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love my subscribers and the people that are making comments on this channel and making the channel grow. And a special shout out to the channel members. Hey man, I really appreciate you guys for hanging in there. And for those of you who don't know, this channel has a whole lot of videos already created on the channel. So you're welcome to dig into that, click the icon and search for whatever you want and stuff like that on some of the artists people ask me about. They're already on the channel, so check that out. But tonight I'm going to get into another group that I kind of grew up with. To some people, I can't believe I'm saying this, to some people the group would be kind of obscure. Maybe some of you never heard of them, but a band like this was hot back in the day, and the charting shows that and the record sales show that. Just because you don't know the band doesn't mean that they were hot. Learn something new tonight. But we're going to be talking about Brick.
Brick? Like as in Brick House?
No, dude. A band. It's a band.
Oh yeah. I think I remember those funky cats now.
Dude, you make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to be working on stories about music and artists and stuff like that, you got to do a little bit more research, bro.
They did that song. Ain't gonna hurt nobody to get down on it.
Okay, yeah. All right, dude. Anyway, let's get right into it. Brick.
Mindset, I was kidding, dude. I got sold to my man.
Yeah, man. When other grandpas are out there trying to sit back and collect Social Security and pensions, these boys are looking at the schedule for the next venue to play at, because the groove ain't dead yet. Even though the original spark came over 50 years ago, back in the late 70s, I was just a kid, and America's airwaves were packed with funk, R&B, rock, and whatever disco was doing that week. Students at pep rallies were losing their minds over the charts. Every teen dance had a rhythm you couldn't escape. But there was a band over in the corner quietly making big noise, and that band was called Brick. You didn't hear them on every radio station yet, but when their songs came on, you knew something special was about to happen. Each jam felt like a party happening, and they had a smooth flute and sax sound riding right on top of the rhythm. This was a sound nobody expected in funk, and you could actually dance to it. It wasn't loud, hard, or flashy like other bands trying to steal the spotlight. It was clever, confident, and irresistible. Brick started in Atlanta, GA in 1972, evolving out of local college circles at places like Savannah State and Morris Brown College. Atlanta was its own thing musically back then, mixing street grit with jazz sophistication. These guys were right in the middle of it. Reggie Hargis Hickman, Ray Ransom, Eddie Irons, Jimmy Brown, and Donald Nevins. All five of these guys were actually more than just funk musicians.
The five musicians were all college students majoring in music. Okay, so it brought that actually brought the uniqueness, because everyone could create and write their music in the band. So that's what, you know, and putting that together, that's what made it so unique.
And we came from a marching band.
Right, all of us was in marching
bands.
Right.
They were music majors, which you might not see so often these days. But they brought together their chops from jazz and funk, blending them into a sound nobody had heard before. They were grinding the local circuit, playing clubs, rehearsing at each other's houses, testing what worked, building that foundation note by note, groove by groove. Every piece was fitting like a puzzle. Nights were hot, rooms were small, sweat was real, but the groove was alive. Brick got their name from when at a rehearsal, they saw the dad of a band member working with bricks, building a pond in the yard. From the start, they wanted something solid, grounded, unmistakable, a perfect foundation, so Brick was that. These cats were so cool they even invented their own words for the fusion they were trying to do with funk music. Dazz, a combination of disco and jazz, and Dusic, a blend of disco and dance music. Man, all the brothers back then were trying to get played on the air, so the funk was underneath and whatever sold was on top. This wasn't just music though, it was chemistry, and it was ready to hit the world. And they did with their first single, Musicmatic. Which was released in 1975 on a small independent label, Main Street Records. Yet they stumbled out of the blocks. Man, that thing crashed and burned off the riff, Flopperooski. But then they signed with a new label the next year, Bang Records, and they slapped that same song on their debut album, Good High. But they also put it on the back of a single to what would be their biggest song ever. Dazz. So funky you needed a gas mask just to hold the record in your hands. Yeah, Dazz was their undisputed best-selling record ever. Totally defining their disco jazz music idea. This thing set the dance floors on fire, going to #1 on the R&B chart and #3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Hey, my man, call it dance music, but funky music by any other name is still funk. The Brick Band was on its way.
Before I knew it, we heard ourselves on the radio, and it was so exciting. I just, it was hard to believe, that we had a record out there like that.
At the time they started getting big attention, it was clear Brick wasn't just another band. Every rehearsal, every local show, every jam session was shaping something new. These boys were ready. And the stage was set for the next moment that would change the game again. But to repeat with another big hit? Well, not yet. But the new album would hold a party song that is still an anthem in the funk R&B world today.
Now get on down.
Yeah, brother. We don't want to sit down, we want to get down. But also on that same album was the hit that would send them to the next level. And it came in like this. Ooh-wee. Bruh, that thing crept in like somebody just pushed a button on a funk machine and you hear it revving up. That's Dusic. And it was a hit that went to #2 on the Billboard 100 R&B charts and 18 on the pops. And I feel sorry for you if you don't know what that groove felt like in real time. Man, this wasn't a time to rap to the women. This was a time to shut your mouth and just get up and jam. Every time them horns pop over the groove, it's like the party just exploded to another level in the room. Oh, you just gonna catch me off guard while I'm dancing and throw in a bridge sounding like the Sanford & Son theme music? Okay. See, this wasn't just a song, this was a blueprint. It was clever, but it was a party. It was smart, but it was irresistible. And it needed a funky breakdown.
It's funky, 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 funk.
And man, kids went crazy. Pep rallies, teen dances, neighborhood block parties, you couldn't escape it. And you couldn't ignore this flute popping up out of nowhere in the groove. Sending you somewhere in the motherland.
Well, as a musician, when I was like a teenager, in fact, I learned trombone and baritone horn first. Then I went to saxophone, and then I learned trumpet. And actually, the flute was the last instrument that I actually learned on.
And even though this hit in '77, the chemistry, the years of grind, all that rehearsal sweat in Atlanta, it paid off right here. Man, I keep telling y'all, funk is many things, but it has to have that syncopation. It's about how each man has a job to do and ain't even trying to get in the way of the other players. Reggie Hargis Hickman on guitar, Ambrick Bridgeforth Jr. on piano and synthesizer, and Donald Nevins on keys lay down a bed that says, yeah, we funky, man. This was Brick at the top of their craft. Dusic was the band's second top 20 pop hit, solidifying their status as a crossover success. At a really real gathering, you get the same reaction they got back in '77 because the groove doesn't care if it's 50 years later, it still works. From here, Brick rode that momentum and hit him with this one. Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody. 92 on the pop, #7 on the R&B charts. But man, by '78 when this came out, I was being baptized in the funk and R&B band fraternity. By the '90s, I must have heard and played this song a million times, and it's still an urban club banger, at least. In the '80s, they kept it real with this one. Yeah, Sweat Till You Get Wet. And you did in 81. It made it hot on the floor. But that would be the end of all the big charting stuff. Yet all their music was now part of the package, all extending their unique Dazz and Dusic approach. They hadn't just made a few singles, they had built a legacy, performing, touring, schooling other bands on how to groove without losing control. And even as the years rolled on, lineup changes came, co-founders passed away, the industry shifted, the world kept spinning, but Brick kept that groove alive. Reunions in the 2000s, touring into the 2020s, with plans already set for 2026. And as of early 2026, Brick received the Icon Award at the 4th AMG Southern Soul Awards in recognition of their 60-year journey and influence in the music industry. Brick keeps playing. Few of the original 5 are left, but the original cats who laid the groove, man, they understood one thing: pocket. That is where the funk lives and never dies, making everybody in the room and on the dance floor suddenly move without even knowing why. That's Brick, the funk, the magic you can't fake. You can't teach that. You can only feel it if your soul can find it.
Get on down, move around, make a sound, doozic.
Yeah, man, groups like Slave and Mass Production, Brass Construction, all these other groups that to some people they're obscure. Back in the day, they were hot, man. And a band like Brick was hot. They got 4 or 5 songs that you play at any club or party in the urban areas. They're going to be jumping off, trying to find a dance partner. We all just need to broaden our horizons and learn a little bit more about this funk thing and music in general. And I hope you guys appreciate that on the Music Mindset channel, where I'm trying to show you another way to look at what you may think you already know. See you guys next time. Thanks.